Chers auditeurs,
Dear listeners,
bonjour.
welcome in Comme d'Archi Podcast Season 4
Saison 4, dans le monde fascinant des architectes.
and in the architectural projects.
Je suis Anne-Charlotte Deponte, passionnée d'architecture et docteur des universités en histoire de l'archi.
I am one of the spokespersons of Anne-Charlotte, who is a PhD in architecture history.
Merci
Thank you
d'être avec moi aujourd'hui.
to be with us today.
Et
And
maintenant,
now,
lundi en français, place au talent.
and Wednesday, let's talk projects. In English, of course.
Bienvenue dans Comme d'Archi.
Dear listeners, good morning. This is Esther on behalf of Anne-Charlotte. It's good to meet you again in Season 4 of Comme d'Archi, Episode 24, with the fascinating and new festival Utopies Constructives and the Wicker Footbridge project. The Wicker Footbridge. An architectural project aiming to construct a 13 meters long braided wicker footbridge over the canal in the park of Richelieu as a part of the new festival Utopies Constructives. The Wicker Footbridge project is conceived, designed and carried out by the architecture collectives Utopies Constructives and Construire l'architecture. Utopies Constructives, meaning Building Utopias, is an association with the aim to create an architectural festival focusing on innovation and experiments. The association, and more specifically the festival, was founded in 2019 by Marc Hymans, Geoffrey Clamour, Priscillia Jorge, and Camille Sineau from BAYA, Bureau for Experimental Architecture, and Benjamin Marolleau from the Cultural Center La Teinturerie in Richelieu. Since 2020 and forward, Utopies Constructives has worked closely with students in the architectural field, as well as design and craftsmanship in the Paris region. École nationale supérieure d'architecture de Paris-La Villette, Centrale Supélec, École Boulle, École du Perret, and ENSAMA, and at the University of Stuttgart. The festival Utopies Constructives will be held in 2023 in the city of Richelieu, located in central France, and built at the order of Cardinal Richelieu between 1631 and 1642. At that time, the main thought was directed towards new utopias and new ideas, and Richelieu was designed as the place from which they would arise through a celebration of experimentation. Located near the existing surrounding city walls, the Park of Richelieu still contains the remains of the large castle of the Cardinal, destroyed in the early 19th century, as well as the large geometries of the park, canals and passages that continue to reveal its footprint. Construire l'architecture, meaning constructing architecture, is a collective founded in 2014 by Marc Hymans and Sylvain Ebod. The initial aim was to make construction course materials available digitally to architecture students. Currently, the collective focuses primarily on the question of scientific and technological teachings for architecture and construction. To achieve this, the collective wishes to pursue 4 types of interdependent missions: transmission of knowledge, write or gather quality content and make it freely available to everyone. Popularization, reflect, participate, and disseminate any action to make the knowledge accessible to as many people as possible. Promote research, participate in or support research in the fields of science and technology for architecture, organize events to promote education and research around these themes. Promote Scale 1. Develop expertise in the confrontation of digital work with experience and, above all, in the confrontation of theory with practice through the construction of Scale 1 projects. The Wicker Footbridge is designed and carried out as a part of the festival Utopies Constructives, which will take place in Richelieu in 2023. As a result of 3 work camps, the 13 meters long footbridge, woven entirely by wicker, will be able to be raised over the Mable canal in the park of Richelieu. Its innovative design was made possible thanks to the BAYA algorithm, which is an innovative tool achieved by research within ENSA Paris-La Villette in partnership with Centrale Supélec. Architect-student Nicolas Prévost, in collaboration with students of Centrale Supélec, Eta Nazerad, Emmanuel Bérébi, Théodore Tarid, Magissou, has led the project as a part of his master's studies, accompanied and advised by Marc Hymans and Quentin Chef, teachers and part of the collective Construire l'Architecture, as well as Marc Hymans, teacher and project supervisor in Centrale Supélec and part of the Utopies Constructives. This digital tool is capable of predicting the ideal braiding for making any structural shell for architectural use with basketry techniques. The first traces of basketry date back to the time of the Sumerian, 4000 BC. Since then, the art of weaving has been used to make shelters, clothing, furniture, and tools. On the other hand, it has been hardly used in architecture and is generally limited to non-structural filling elements. To our knowledge, the BAYA project, named after the nests of BAYA weavers, birds expert in the art of weaving, was one of the earliest examples of a woven wicker structural shell in architecture. Based on the braiding optimization algorithm developed during this previous project, our research intends to question one step beyond: crossings. This innovative research has been materialized in the making of the 13 meters long footbridge for the festival Utopies Constructives. The woven footbridge has to be able to carry the weight of numerous persons walking over it at the same time. Established by the research, the students were able to find the perfect density and ideal way of weaving to ensure the stability of the wicker footbridge. The innovative algorithm offers a new way of thinking about modern constructions and presents also an ecological aspect. Wicker is the material that produces little carbon, grows quickly, and does not damage the soil. However, wicker cultivation is a know-how getting lost with the time. This project also hopes to create new outlets for this crafts sector. 2 work camps were organized during June and August 2022 to transform the designed algorithm and the 3D sketches into a Scale 1 footbridge. The first work site was held in June with students specializing in architecture, construction, craftsmanship and design from the schools ENSA La Villette, Centrale Supélec, École Boulle and École du Perret. Accompanied by the wicker cultivators from Osier Prod, Séverine and Patrick Boyer, as well as architects from Utopies Constructives, the group of 24 students worked on weaving 6 separate pieces of the footbridge. A second work site was held in August with volunteers from the architecture collective École Zéro. With continued weaving, the footbridge gained in stability and the pieces could be assembled together. On the final day, the assembled footbridge could be raised for the first time. A third and final work camp will be organized in 2023 to finish the wicker footbridge. The official inauguration of the footbridge will be held during the festival Utopies Constructives in 2023, which aims to present new ways of reflecting on and building modern architecture. Gathering students as well as professionals in the sector of architecture, construction and design, the event desires to create new conversations around sustainable and original constructions. The festival works closely with its guest laboratory, ILEC, Institute for Lightweight Structures and Conceptual Design, directed by Lucio Blandini, in the conception and making of a second footbridge made entirely in lightweight concrete, a technique developed by the ILEC research associate Daria Kovaleva. The inauguration of the 2 footbridges will be a main event of the festival. Panel discussions, lectures, speaker corners, as well as workshops are on the agenda for the new innovative festival. Utopies Constructives is also targeting a local public from Richelieu and the neighboring towns, hoping to promote the uniqueness of the town with its utopian avant-garde architecture. Dear listeners, thank you for tuning in. Let's meet again next week for a new Comme d'Archi in English. And until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Thanks to Julien Rebourg, sound engineer, who is collaborating with us today. Don't forget to tune in to our previews on Instagram at Comme d'Archi Podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, don't hesitate to promote it by giving it 5 stars and a little comment on Apple Podcast or on your favorite podcast platform. And above all, subscribe to listen to all of our episodes for free. See you soon, and until then, take care of yourself.